Hey, what is going on with y'all, man? It is Black Balloon, and I'm coming back with another video. So y'all already know what's going on. Alright, y'all. Now, the topic we're gonna discuss today, I've never actually talked about this on my channels before. Lately, Chris Brown has just been in the media all over Instagram, I guess beefing with Quavo. I think he said something about Kanye too. And somebody asked me to talk about him and what I think happened with him and Rihanna back, when he was about 17, 18. I think she was about 20 years old. Y'all know this happened a long time ago. It was over a decade ago. I heard a clip with Jaguar Wright. Now, I know I told you I wasn't going to keep beating y'all over the head with Jaguar Wright, but when I listened to it, her story made the most sense that I'd ever heard. It made the most sense. And I also found something else that Wendy Williams said about Rihanna that confirms what Jaguar Wright said. And I was like, yo, now I think I got to do the video on this, because I wasn't even going to do this video because it's so old. You could tell this is something that's like held Chris Brown back in the industry from being who he really could have been for a very long time. Like, I think even Quavo said something about it in the recent diss, that he hit women or he beat Rihanna. I think he has some kind of domestic stuff going on with what's the girl name, Karrueche. I'm not really sure. I can't remember that whole story, but yo, when I heard these two clips, now the Wendy Williams one, it was off of her show. I'm gonna let y'all hear that after we hear what Jaguar Wright says, because y'all gotta hear what Jaguar says first. And when y'all hear Wendy Williams, some of y'all ladies might remember this. Then you're gonna start to be like, all right, now hold on, this might actually make the most sense. And for people that were hard on Chris Brown because of all this, you might actually start to change your mind about what really happened between them two. And of course, your boy Jay-Z is behind it as well. All right, so with that being said, y'all, we'll go ahead and jump into this Jaguar Wright clip. Check this out.
I don't understand why people keep talking about that. It was forever ago. They were both very young, and he had just had his first herpes outbreak from her giving him the herpes.
Oh, my.
Like, how the fuck did you know what I mean? Like people don't understand what happened that night. And that's because Jay-Z worked so fucking hard to change the narrative of that night. Now, Rihanna was only 14, 15 when he started fucking with her and signed to the Def Jam. It's clear to say that the herpes that she had came from the person she had been most sexually involved with, and that was Sean Carter. So here it is. Chris Brown has his first herpes outbreak from his celebrity girlfriend who he was set up with, and it was supposed to be this and it was supposed to be that, and he was there so people wouldn't pay attention to the fact that she was fucking Jay-Z underage. Jay-Z gave her the herpes that she gave to Chris Brown. And that first night, when he had that outbreak and he busted into Clive Davis's house and said, "Where the fuck is this dirty bitch at?" I can't fault him for that. He had this is beautiful. Oh, wonderful. Chris Brown, she didn't ruin him. She ruined him at 19 years old. He's got the Jay-Z herpes. And it's unfair. Because now that's a part of his story. And Rihanna ain't innocent. Because she was in there giving that nigga a blowjob in the coat closet when Chris Brown came in. He said, "Bitch, you always fucking sucking something." Then he said, "I'm fucking done with you." And he stormed out of Clive Davis's house, got into his very expensive car, and Rihanna chased after him. She gets in the car and started fighting on him because he embarrassed her for calling her a dick sucking whore and saying in front of everybody that she gave him the herpes. at Clive Davis's house the night before the fucking Grammys. She in the car trying to fuck him up. They're speeding on the Pacific Coast Highway, and you know Pacific Coast Highway, very steep. She could have killed the both of them fighting him while he was trying to just get the fuck away from her. Because Lord knows he couldn't get away from the herpes, and he hit her back. Bitch, calm down.
My.
And all of this is happening while he's doing damn near 100 miles per hour in a sports car on Pacific Coast Highway while he's still trying to register that he is beautiful Chris Brown and his dick is now trash at 19
My.
because he got set up with a bitch that was fucking a pedophile who gave her herpes. And that's what happened. And people wonder why I speak up for Chris Brown. That's why. And if I'm lying, all of them can sue me, even you, Riri. Have fun at the Super Bowl.
My.
Keep your snatch to yourself.
That actually sounds more like the truth in comparison to anything I've heard about the situation
That's what
thus
the
far.
fuck happened that night.
And by the way, Drake informed Chris that he and Rihanna, that wasn't a serious thing. He told Chris, and I never thought it was a serious thing either. Like, I don't think anybody but Chris has been serious about Rihanna, because Rihanna, you know, and don't take this the wrong way, but just as an observation, Rihanna is like, you did it, you hit the skins and scram. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Well, I didn't make that up. She puts it out there like Rihanna is not girlfriend material. Am I wrong? Rihanna's the kind of girl, you know, she's hot, she's sexy, you do her, then you take your penicillin.
Now, when I heard that clip with Wendy Williams, it just confirmed everything that Jaguar Wright said. Now, as I was looking this up a little bit more, it became obvious that these two aren't the only people to say that Jay-Z gave Rihanna herpes. I think it's a lot more widely known than I knew. I'm just speaking of myself. But like I said, it's a lot more widely known that he actually gave Rihanna herpes, as in Jay-Z. And we're starting to find out that he's a lot more responsible for a lot of stuff that's been going on in the industry since the 90s. Jaguar Wright put it all out on the table in the clip that she was talking about. And just like the guy at the end said, that sounds a lot more like what really happened than what they gave us. I think it took years for Chris Brown to come out and speak about it because he couldn't. He wasn't allowed to. He was blackballed to a certain degree when it all happened. And it probably forced him to not speak about it for a very long time. By the time when you actually do speak about it, you won't even feel, the urge to tell the truth or anything, on what really caused him to supposedly beat Rihanna. I think we all thought those pictures of her and all that good stuff was exaggerated, without me really even digging to it. I didn't believe in it. But I don't, this ain't something where you dismiss like guys beating on women. We know that takes place in real life. I mean, we know it takes place in the industry from dudes who are famous, women beating on they dude, thinking they can hit a guy. We know that happens. We know there are real situations of domestic violence that leads to death a lot of times. A lot of women get shown things from the guy that they're with and they ignore it. And a lot of them end up dead. We know that's a very true and sad reality. But when we go in on this kind of stuff, there's a lot more darker than we think. There'll be a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes that we don't know about that we're kind of just finding out about. Especially when Jay-Z behind it. Rihanna, who we know sold her soul, gave Jay-Z her soul, basically. Signed her soul away to the devil in human form in Jay-Z and signed her soul away in spirit as well. And we finna get into that in this next clip. Because nope, this ain't just all about Chris Brown and Rihanna little situation and what we starting to learn about Jay-Z. We're going to talk about him a little bit more and Rihanna from this next clip that I found that y'all will also find to be pretty interesting about when Jay-Z first signed Rihanna to Def Jam. This was a little bit before, about 5 years before he branched off to create Roc Nation, which she also continued and signed right back with Jay-Z. So, with that being said, y'all, check this out.
How did you come in contact with her? I mean, did you fly over there?
No, Jay Brown had actually bought me the song. She has a song right now, and it's I wouldn't say massive because of her roots, but she has this outrageous song called Upon the Replay. And he played that song for me, and I was scared. I was like, that song is too big for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, a new artist, when a song is that big, it's it's hard to come back from. And I don't sign songs, I sign artists.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Why don't you break down the difference between that? Because the viewing public might not understand that.
Some people chase the hot song for a minute, and then they sign, based on the song. I want to sign it based on an artist, based on, or based on the swagger, based on the level of talent, based on the writing, So I was a little reluctant when I first heard the song, and then, he kept going, Jay Brown, he kept being persistent. I was like, bring her by. And when she walked in our office, I was like, she just had, it was just something about her. It was just, she had this, it was just something about her. And then she performed the song, and I was like, okay. Then, we sat down and we talked, and they were talking about how she would stay in the studio and try to get the verse over, and then come back the next day. I was like, oh, work ethic, everything is there. So we signed her that night. We didn't let her leave the office.
Really?
The 3 a.m. was when that contract got signed. So from the meeting around 3, 4 in the afternoon, we signed it by 3 a.m.
Wow.
That day. I was absolutely certain.
How often does that happen? I mean, that's
not often.
That's unheard of, right?
To get lawyers to draft up contracts, and then the other side to agree to contracts in 10 hours is...
Now, just off of that alone, why would you question anything that has to do with Jay-Z and Rihanna? And I mean, why would you question it, as in, what would make you think any of this stuff isn't true? All the way back to the Chris Brown incident, all the way back to Jay-Z messing with Foxy Brown right here on this picture when she was young. Y'all remember we did the video and covered it. Jay-Z possibly being behind the Aaliyah sacrifice. Well, we know he was. This little picture I found was kind of perfect to sum up a lot of his dealings. Getting involved with Beyonce at a young age. Someone else who believed he also gave Rihanna herpes. Invested with Harvey Weinstein. He did the whole ritual thing with Marina Abramovich. We covered that as well in one of my dark ritual videos way back. And they ended it off with, and was protected every step of the way. So, back to my question, why wouldn't you believe that any of this stuff isn't true? Now, y'all already know what I'll bring up off of that clip. Rihanna was signed to Jay-Z, at the age of 15, 16? I don't know, she may have been around 16 when Upon the Replay was becoming a smash. He said she got there around 3 p.m. and they signed the deal. They just so happened to sign the deal at 3 a.m. in the middle of the night. That's why I said, whether she knew it or not, she signed her soul to the devil. She signed her soul in the spirit at 3 a.m., right in the middle of the witching hour, when the veil is the most thin between the physical and spiritual world. And Jay-Z said it himself. But do you think he's going to go into detail on how she signed the deal at 3 a.m.? It's like I always say, what makes these people choose, this certain time? Like who just says, yeah, we didn't let her leave the office. She got there at 3 p.m. We signed the deal at 3 a.m. Why couldn't y'all sign the deal at 12? Why couldn't you sign the deal at 10 that night? She was young. Let her go home. Why you keep her there to sign the deal in the middle of the witching hour at 3 a.m.? Why choose a number 3? You know, it's like you just ask those simple questions and it starts to make sense. Like, oh, okay. I see what's going on. She signed in blood. Y'all wanted to be as close to those spirits that y'all were summoning during that contract. You wanted to be as close as you could to those spirits while she signed her name on that sheet of paper or signed in blood. And look who Rihanna became. So it all makes sense to me that Jay-Z would have, did anything he could to keep Rihanna in a positive light, especially off of that Chris Brown situation, since that's where we started in the video. Me, I couldn't believe nothing coming out of those kind of people mouths. Anything that they involved with, I'm gonna take the other side of it. Y'all remember we did another video with Rihanna about her three cousins. I think 2 of them she sacrificed. Their whole family died. Her cousins, and they all died, I think, at 14, 21, and like 28 or something, all 7 years apart. I can't remember exactly how it was. Don't quote me exactly on it, but it's some crazy, coincidence, if you want to call it that. And we've already discussed that. I can't even remember the title of that video, but it's kind of mind-blowing. Y'all know the cousin that when she went down to go see him for Christmas, 2 days later, he was like stabbed or something like that. We all know she sacrificed him. So y'all, with that being said, man, I thought that would be a good video to do and bring to the channel. Especially when I saw that Wendy Williams clip saying, you better take your penicillin after doing whatever you do with Rihanna. But yeah, man, y'all let me know what y'all think about that video. I thought it would be pretty interesting to go ahead and bring to the channel, since Chris Brown has been in the news recently as far as the entertainment industry goes. And yeah, with that being said, man, we'll be back with another video real soon. Y'all keep on letting me know what y'all want to see on the channel. It's Black Balloon, and I'm gonna see y'all soon. I'm out.